Marissa says some things. She says some things too.
So today we'll be talking about my senior thesis, and I'm so excited to share this with you all. So I am a theater dance major at a small college in the Midwest. And the reason it's theater dance is because it's a combined major. They didn't want to give us two separate buildings, probably, so we're just the one major. That being said, even though I love dance and I have so much respect for it, I have zero training. Well, that's not true because I did drill team for 2 years in high school, but I don't really count that. I'm mainly a theater person, which is why I make things and I make films specifically, and I try to write plays and I do poetry and I act, and so that's why that's all the theatery stuff that I do. That's in this realm over here. The school that I attend has a rigorous research project called the Independent Study, and I'm very happy that I get to do it because I'm a huge nerd. And when I was looking at colleges and this one popped up and said that they were all about hands-on research, I was like, hell yeah. I'm really excited that I get to do this project. It takes a whole year, or rather 6 months, the majority of a school year. And it's your own question that you come up with and you decide what to do. A lot of people don't know what research looks like outside of the hard sciences, which makes sense. So basically, in your English classes in high school, at least at my school, we had to use the book that we were reading and look up some historical context. So we had to use quotes from history books. All of that is research. Even though it's not numbers and data and points on a graph and stuff like that, it's research because you're looking into it and you're bringing it all together into one big cohesive thing. Forgot the word. My research question is about the ethics of acting when it comes to mental illness. So I'm asking, because affect and cognition are inherently linked, meaning because our emotions affect the way that we see the world around us and are able to compute what's happening, how can an actor without a mental illness morally, ethically, and accurately portray a character who does have a mental illness? So basically, I'm asking how a quote-unquote neurotypical actor can step into the life of someone who has a mental illness that they've never experienced. Because a lot of times with mental illness, it's in your brain. So one difficult thing is that we can't see everyone who has a mental illness, and the other thing is that we don't always necessarily understand how mental illness affects actions. And so there's a lot of talk in terms of the writing and the representation of characters who have mental illness and how to accurately portray that experience. And that's great because the writing has really shaped up these past few years. But there's still that missing link from the page to the stage where actors, I feel at least, a lot of times will get a script with a character with mental illness and then kind of see it as a green light to just act quote unquote crazy. And in that way, we end up getting a lot of stereotypes that are really harmful both for actors using the method that everyone talks about and just diving too deep into these characters that they honestly don't really understand in the first place. But on the other hand, people who do have mental illness see these really damaging portrayals of themselves. And it's really hard to not see yourself on stage or in media because then the few times you are called out, like, hey, this character has depression, but then you see a misrepresentation of yourself, that's just as damaging as not seeing yourself at all. I'm saying that actors have a moral obligation to their audiences to take care of them in that way, and to their characters to look into the mental illness itself and into the story and treat it not as an excuse to be a jerk, Jared Leto, instead as a way of understanding how a character interprets the world around them. So I hope that made sense. A quote that I think about a lot is Maya Angelou, and she said, "Once you know better, do better." And basically that's my whole study, is that now we know a little bit more about mental illness, so let's actually do our job and research and see what mental illnesses actually look like in the brain and how they're played out and how it feels to have one, so that we can actually portray these characters that we wouldn't have been able to understand however many years ago. That's my independent study, so I'm really excited to keep working on it, and maybe you'll end up hearing more about it as I go along. It's going to take me the whole year, so wish me luck. If you have thoughts or comments or questions, comment boxes down below, so I will be reading them. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed hearing about my super nerdy question, my super nerdy topic, my super nerdy life. Yeah. Thanks for watching. I'll see you around.